Welcome to Mastering Solutions. In this problem, they want us to figure out what the radius is of this path. They say that it's a large circular garden path, and they say that Luis has walked 1/4 of the distance around the path, and, not the radius. They want us to find the diameter of the path. Okay, so this problem is a really good problem, and because it's a good problem, that usually means that it's a really frustrating problem. So let's go ahead and draw what is happening here. So they say that Luis started out and he walked 1/4 of the distance around the path. So it doesn't really matter where we start. I'm going to start out right here, and we'll say this is X initial. He walked 1/4, so he went up here and he stops, and we'll say that's X final. So now they say that the magnitude of his displacement from here up to here is 180 meters. And they want to know what the diameter is. So to do that, let's figure out the radius. So we have the radius here and the radius here. So obviously we have a right triangle now. So we can use Pythagorean's theorem here, which says that c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. But now, before we put in any numbers, let's just plug in the variables here. So instead of saying 180, let's say that this distance is c for the displacement. So we can also call that delta x is equal to r squared for this leg plus r squared for this other leg. So now we can simplify this expression with x squared is equal to 2 times r squared. So now we want to isolate r by itself. So now let's divide both sides by 2. So now we have r is equal to delta x squared. R squared is delta x squared over 2. So now to isolate it, let's take the square root of both sides. So that is going to give us r is equal to the x squared will cancel, leaving us with only delta x over the square root of 2. So now we can plug in the value here for, let's come down here. So r is equal to delta x is 180 meters divided by the square root of 2. Now we can take that whole number and you could divide times it by 2 right here. Times by 2 to give us a diameter, or you can just plug this in and then multiply it by 2 in the calculator. Same thing, because of course the diameter is 2 times the radius. So 180 divided by the square root of 2 gives us 90 square root 2. So if we round that, we have 127. Now, before I round, I'm going to multiply it by 2, which gives us 254.55. So the diameter of this path is 255 meters.